What is up, guys? Welcome to episode number 162 of Beef's Beef. I got another solid interview for you guys today. It's a good friend of mine. But before that, we want to get to our sponsors. Our first sponsor is Crystal Lackey at Stockton Mortgage. Hit Crystal up for any of your home loan needs, any of your uh, refinancing needs, anything that happens or that goes on with the mortgage part of the housing. Get in contact with Crystal Lackey at Stockton Mortgage. You can contact her at 502-615-0743. Again, it's 502-615-0743. Crystal Lackey at Stockton Mortgage. Stockton Mortgage is an equal housing lender. MLS number 8259. Crystal Lackey, MLS number 1735979. My next sponsor, you guys saw me post a picture of me at his show from this past Saturday. Uh, my good friend Isaac at Delium Clothing. Uh, I'm excited for him, man. He's moving forward. I know when we first spoke at the very beginning of this, whenever he was first starting Delium, you see the shirt behind me here. Uh, he didn't know how long it would last. He was just going into it and seeing what he could do. He did inform me the other day he's going to keep pushing forward. He's had some good responses and everything like that. So I'm excited for him. You can find Delium on Facebook, Delium Clothing, at Delium Clothing on Instagram. Uh, you can find his men's line in Him's Gentleman Boutique in downtown New Albany. He says he's working on getting his women's line in another store in downtown New Albany. So there's just some big things for Isaac and his clothing line Delium. Make sure you guys hit him up on Facebook, Instagram, give him a follow, give him a like. He's always posting stuff on there. We also spoke about maybe working on a Beef's Beef shirt with him. Who knows? We'll check that out in the future. Again, it's Delium Clothing on Facebook, at Delium Clothing on Instagram. And today's episode is with a good friend of mine named Hughe Blaske. Hugh runs currently he streams on Twitch, does some video gaming stuff, but he has an exciting business venture, which he will give you a lot of insight on in this episode. Uh, he's opening a business called Kentucky Creator Services, I believe. I don't want to butcher that. Uh, but he's going to give you a lot of insight onto what they do, when they plan to open, what's their goal. Let me make sure. Kentucky Creative Studios. I'm sorry. I apologize. I'm glad I looked that up before so I didn't butcher it. But again, it's Hughe Blaske speaking about his business venture coming up, Kentucky Creative Studios. Guys, enjoy the interview. All right, guys, I'm here with Hughe. I don't know what that sound was. That was different. I guess that was something on your end.
I've never
But
heard that before.
that's what I get with working with a tech guy here, I guess. So how's it going, man? I appreciate you joining me, man.
Oh man, life's good. Life's good. We've been busy. Been planning a wedding. We're starting this business that we're here to talk about today. We got a lot going on.
So Hughe and I go back a good amount of time. We met through person you guys will know from the advertisement here, Michael, Mike and Cheese.
Yep.
It's funny because Hughe calls him Mike and everyone calls him Mike, but I will always know him as Michael. That's just the way it'll always be. But we met through Michael. I say we really kind of got close whenever we went on his bachelor party together down in Gatlinburg.
I agree. I definitely agree. That was a fun weekend. If you guys haven't seen the picture, Brandon needs to include it in this podcast. He got to meet a very rambunctious monkey. And it's a wonderful picture. So
it was insane. We just walked out of that arcade and the lady was just standing there with the monkey in Gatlinburg. We're like,
Brandon just hops down on the bench like, "What's up?"
Well, no, I asked her. Remember, I asked her. I was like,
"Oh, did you ask?" I don't remember.
I said, "Can I get a picture with it?" She said, "Yeah, just don't touch it." And I was
Brandon,
like, "Hey, that's totally fine."
It was a bachelor party weekend. I don't remember a whole lot of specifics.
That's fair. Honest. There was a lot of debauchery and a lot of riding the mountain coaster. That mountain coaster was fun though, man. We rode it like 3 or 4 times.
Yeah. So we went back to Gatlinburg when I proposed to my fiance, and she got me to ride this one, and it was much like taller and faster than the one that we went on together. and it scared the hell out of me. So
Sounds like I need to make a trip back and go on that one then, because
yeah, absolutely.
the other one was fun. The other one was so much
Yeah.
fun. So, fast forward a little bit. Find out Hugh's a Louisville fan. Not that I never didn't know that, but found out how big of a Louisville fan he was, and he hit me up about going to a basketball game. I was like, bro, you just need to get some season tickets.
Yes, sir.
Fast forward to the beginning of that season, he gets season tickets right next to me, and we've been sitting. I mean, were you a row behind me or something?
Yeah, I'm like a row and 3 seats over.
Yeah.
Actually, fun fact, we were a row and 5 seats over, but the 2 people to our right didn't renew, so I got their seats this year.
Nice.
So
yeah, so we sit next to each other, and then we me, him, and the guy you guys saw on a podcast a few months ago, John Wilmot, text pretty much every day about different sporting events. They talk about Marvel stuff, and I hit him up the other day when he started sharing some more stuff about his business here, and
yep.
Let's talk about KCS. What does KCS stand for, and where did the name come from?
Sure. So it is Kentucky Creator Studios. So we essentially, the reason behind the name, I guess, is when creating a business, I think it's really, really important that your name explains what you are. McDonald's initially was a burger joint, you know what I'm saying? Like, but
yeah.
But if they had named it like Burger Shot from Grand Theft Auto, you would know that it's a burger restaurant. I want you to know what we do before you even come into the door. It should be very self-explanatory. I got that from Alex from Through the Decades. The name of the store is Through the Decades, but that's not what it says on the outside of the store. It says sports cards and gaming, because that's what they are. They're a sports card store and they do games. I think that's one of the biggest pieces of information when it comes to marketing that I ever got from him, is that make sure that your name represents your business. And I think that's really, really important. So Kentucky Creator Studios.
So what exactly is Kentucky Creator Studios? Like, what exactly are you guys aiming to do?
So we kind of want to be that entry point. We want to be that resource that people can use when they want to, dabble in whatever content they want to create. So if Johnny Appleseed has this great sports idea or sports podcast idea, but doesn't know where to get started, doesn't have $1,000 to drop on equipment, etc., we can be that resource. So we want to do that for everything, though. So if you want to be a streamer, on YouTube, Facebook gaming, Twitch, whatever that may be, however that looks, we have all that. We provide all that equipment for you, and then you can pay a fraction of the price of what you would have to pay for all that equipment to give it a try. The biggest complaint I've heard, from a lot of friends that try content creation is, man, I spent $1,000. I bought this really nice mic, this computer, and I just don't like it. And, now I have all this equipment. I don't know what to do with it. And if I sell it, I'm only going to get back 3/4 of what I paid into it. And that stinks. And I get that, and that's more common than people that enjoy doing things in the content creation world. So we recognized that there was a need for an entry-level way to try your hand at whatever it is you want to create, and I think the biggest thing for us is I will be offering consultations. For someone who has no idea what they want, they just have an idea, they don't know how to get started, we're going to offer $10 consultations. So that's a 30-minute sit down with myself and any of the other owners, that can make it, where we really just talk about your idea. So you bring that idea to us. You want to talk about the different ice cream flavors, for an example. You're real passionate about chocolate, but you're going to talk about vanilla and strawberry too. I'm going to tell you where I think you should start. How many episodes For example, I would ask, like, how many episodes do you think you're going to talk about? Do you think you're just going to talk about vanilla chocolate versus strawberry? Do you think you're going to go into pistachio? Are you going to talk about, like Jamocha chip? Like, because I can see this going like 10, 15 episodes. Is that something you want to commit to? If not, is this just a one-time thing? If it's just a one-time thing, we can get you in, but it might be more expensive just paying for one setup, where we could maybe work out a deal with you if you do 10, 15 episodes. And, it may not even be something they want to do recorded sound for. Maybe we can do a YouTube video or like a YouTube series where you kind of show images of like the different ice creams that you're talking about. And so just really working through that initial idea with the customer, I think is super, super important. The great thing about the $10 though, the $10 is really just paying for my time to be in there with you. Yeah. What we're going to do with that though is if you do decide that you like what we discussed, you really want to move forward with it, we'll take that $10 off your first session. So it's really just, if you don't like it, we had that conversation, you paid me $10 for half hour of my time. But if you really like it and we can really work something out, you're investing in your idea, you're investing in yourself. And that's really, really what I like about offering that consultation.
So will you capture other parts of it as well, as far as like the marketing parts of it, maybe like what kind of audience you should go towards, and like, because I know you said that if you're going to talk about like ice cream, are you going to go towards different types of ice cream? So I'm guessing it's kind of like, hey, let's just think of the beginning of mine. Okay.
Sure.
I went and bought a mic. I started just me and my buddy.
Absolutely.
Sitting at an island. But I didn't really know after that. I pretty much figured out everything on my own.
Yeah. And you've had a lot of success, man. You had Diddy Crumb on here.
Yeah, I mean, it would have been nice. It would have been nice to have all those resources and everything. But as far as like it's something I still don't do well with is the marketing side of it, of getting more viewership, of getting more listenership, because there's always. So is that something that you guys will focus on as well, as far as like a marketing, like visitor or listener / viewership type thing too?
Look, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm probably not that person to speak on that, because I'm the guy that averages 4 viewers on Twitch, so I may not be that guy that you're looking for. But I do feel like I have a savvy for marketing and knowing at least the content creation realm well enough that I think I can at least get you started in the right path. I'll be honest, I never really gave like content creation my full 100% effort, and that's, I can blame it on 100 other things, but at the end of the day, it's just excuses. I never put all my eggs in the basket. Do I think that things would be different if I did? I don't know. And I'm not going to tell you that I'd be Tim the Tap Man or anything like that, because Lord knows that would take years of grinding and a lot of luck. But I do think that I understand the community enough to at least to get you off the ground.
Be able to point you in the right direction.
Yeah. Yeah.
So was this like because you mentioned there's other owners with you. Was this like an individual idea you came up with? Were you sitting with a group of buddies and you were like, man, this is kind of like what I've been thinking, or like, how did this come about?
I got another story for you, man. All right. So, I like to post random stuff on Facebook. Yeah. So just Shower Hughe just spends 30 minutes in the shower every morning thinking about just stuff. And one of these Shower Hughe moments, I had this crazy idea for a content creator cafe. So that it'd be just a little like finger food cafe, seats like 10 people. But the cool thing is when you walk in, there would be a content creator creating content live in person that you could interact with. Like they'd have like a tip jar, you could come up and like donate to them, etc. And then their content would be playing in the cafe, on the TVs, etc. But it's just cool because you're sharing a space with someone that's actively creating something. And I loved it. I thought it was such a good idea. And it would be kind of like an internet cafe too, like where there'd be like 15, 20 rigs set up where people could come in and do like LAN parties, like Call of Duty tournaments, Smash tournaments, whatever you want to do. I thought this was great, but your boy doesn't have like 50 grand he can just drop
Yeah.
on a content creator cafe, man. And so a big group of my friends that also create content, we got a group chat going, and we were like, we just didn't want to see the idea die. So we were like, what else could we do instead? And then just we met in Discord multiple times, and this is just kind of what we came to. We recognized this need to be able to facilitate for multiple different genres. I mean, we're gonna have a TikTok setup with like a professional like lighting rig with a green screen behind it, so like kids or whoever is in the like creating TikToks, can come in and just spend 30 minutes, an hour, like whatever they need to do to make those TikToks. I don't know a whole lot about making them myself. I just know that I just recognize that that's a market that's big right now, and we want to do what we can to kind of help people grow in that area as well. But yeah, man, we just met in Discord, a few weeks, and we came across this idea. A couple of us were a little bit more serious than others, and we decided to move forward together.
So you mentioned that there are other, like you just said, there are other owners and stuff. How many owners are there?
So
And
there's
then
5 of us.
going off of that real quick, I want to ask,
Sorry.
do you have a different person for a different type of thing? Like, as you said, you would be more towards like you would be able to do a consultation. Do you guys have like different people that maybe someone that does the stuff with TikTok, or is it just like whoever's going to be there at that point, and you guys are all going to be, jacks of all trade as far as that comes?
Sure. So, I mean, we definitely all have our specific things, like specific strengths and weaknesses.
Mm-hmm.
So myself, I'm really just going to be focused more on like the studio aspect of it and like the solo streaming content. I guess I should backtrack before I get into like what we all do and kind of tell you about what services we're going to offer. And that might be able to help a little bit
For sure. Yeah.
more. So we're going to have a few different services that we offer. Like I said earlier, we're going to have a TikTok setup. It's really just like a professional ring light that you can hook your phone up to with a mic. It has a green screen. And eventually I want to work in props. I don't know what that's going to look like, but if you think about like a photo booth, I want something like that set up. We're going to have a solo stream room. So it's going to be a 2-monitor setup, mechanical keyboard, mouse with the hotkeys, professional lighting, green screen, the professional camera, similar to the one I'm using right now. You're going to have access to whatever game you want to play. If you're not playing a game, like if you're doing just like a vlog or something like that, if it's just yourself, you're probably going to use that solo setup yourself. And then we have our big room, which I'm the most excited about because it's an 8-person setup. So each seat is individually mic'd. We have different sound lines that run to each seat, so we can control, the fluctuation of your voice, etc. Some people talk louder, some people talk, a little bit quieter. So we have the ability to adjust the volume of every individual mic. That room has 2 50-inch flat screens on the walls. So if you're doing like a podcast and you have like a point of reference you need to look at, my example is when I did a fantasy football podcast last year, sometimes I'd pull up a play or like player stats from the previous week. You'll be able to do that with the functionality of those 2 50-inch flat screens. So if you're wanting to do a fantasy football podcast, Brandon, I got the space for you. But no, so this room is so cool. We're going to offer something called Rent a Dungeon Master. So D&D is super popular, which is Dungeons and Dragons, for those who may not know. The hardest part about getting into Dungeons and Dragons for the first time is finding someone to run your campaign for you, aka finding a dungeon master. We're going to offer a house campaign. So we'll have different dungeon masters that you can pay for their time that will come in and run our house campaign for you. It's a really, really cool idea because on those said flat screens, we're going to record the storyline. It may not be me, it may not be any of the owners, but we're going to have someone kind of come in. So as the dungeon master introduces himself, he'll point to the screen and say, this is the campaign. And it's going to cut to like a 5-minute video where someone, introduces the characters, walks through the plot line, and then just kind of jumps right into the game. And then so you'll be able to see your characters move move on those two 50-inch flat screens through a website called D20, as you and your group of friends, play through your campaign there with that dungeon master.
Now, have you guys thought? Will you guys have more than obviously at the beginning? You'll have to have maybe one or whatever you can get at the beginning. But are you guys working towards having multiple different plot lines? That way, if someone loves the first one, they can come in and like, hey, we love that first one. Let's do another one.
Absolutely. I feel like
that's something that could work for forever, because you could constantly just come up with new plot lines if guys love it enough, they would just. I mean, how long? So I've seen people play the game when I used to work UPS, and there was a crew that used to play every night on their break. So I don't understand the game. I can't, but I know that they played the exact same game for, it felt like 6 months.
Oh yeah. Oh, I mean, there are campaigns that have gone for years. So like 10 plus years, I'm sure. Yeah. And they just meet every week and they just play the same thing. And it's all your dungeon master, man. They work on it during the week, and then you come back next week and you play through the next part. I love it. I think it's really cool. Finding a dungeon master that's committed is kind of hard, and I think that's why a lot of campaigns aren't successful. And and that's life. Life is a thing. Life happens. If your dungeon master gets in a car wreck and is in the hospital, you're probably not playing D&D that week. You know, and it just happens. Life happens, and we understand that. But to answer your question, I would love for that to be a thing. I would love to see people continue and grow into a campaign, especially within our walls. But again, this is really just entry level stuff. Like, my goal is for you to use our service, love it, and then us help you find the things that you need, and you never have to use this again. I know that doesn't sound like the best business plan or anything like that, but my end goal is just to help you build a passion for yourself, and not have to spend a ton of money up front initially to find out that you do have a passion for it.
That was actually going to be my next question. It was what do you guys hope to achieve? But I guess I'll add to that. What do you yourself hope to achieve as far as with this company, with this business? I mean, obviously you just said that where you give guys the power, or give people the power. I don't want to.
I would hold that question for a minute, because I still haven't even answered the owner question.
I love it, man. I love it.
So there's still a little more functionality I want to walk through with you. And then once I get through that, I'd be happy to address the owners and then what my long-term plan is. But we talked about the Dungeons and Dragons campaign, which I think is great. But on that same aspect, this room can be anything that you want it to be. So two of the owners, their names are Casey Snook and Mike Borgowitz. I know I butchered Mike's last name. I know I didn't say it right. I'm gonna say Morgowitz one more time, and I'm gonna hope that that's right. Mike, you can punch me if I'm wrong. They're both really connected to the comedy scene. And so they both worked at the local dive bar called Kaiju, and Kaiju has comedy nights every week. So with COVID, for a year and a half, these guys didn't have anywhere to perform. And so they've got so much content, written, because it's not like they just stopped, working on their passion. They have all this content saved up, but they don't have anything to do with it. So Casey and Mike are working with them to bring them in so we can help, bring those ideas to life. Not just in the form of like recorded sound, but also in the form of like a YouTube channel, doing like different clips, different bits and things like that.
Or maybe like kind of like what Theo Vaughn kind of does with some of his clips, where it's like the cartoonish thing, something like that. Or are you taking more?
I haven't seen that. So I may not have this right. So I don't want to go too far into it. When they told me about it, it sounds a lot like SNL, with just like live recorded. Yeah. Okay. So some of me live recorded like sketches and things like that. But don't quote me on that, because again, I don't know exactly how far those conversations have gone. So I just know that that's something that we will be a community that we will be working with, that I'm really excited about.
For sure.
The last thing that's really cool with this room is, I'm an avid card game player. So I now have an 8-player setup that's ready to go with lighting, camera angles, and mics already ready to go for every single person. So I can do poker. I can do any of the trading card games that I play. We can do board games. Like we can have a Monopoly night, and we can record it all. We can do it, and we can do whatever we want with it, you know. And I think that that's huge. I'm really, really excited about that. But yeah, so the last thing I'll touch base on it, and I'll go over the I'll mention the other two owners. So the last thing that's really cool is we're partnering with editors and graphic designers. So I'm going to have different graphic designers and editors that are local, and a few that are, you know, not so local. I'm going to have digital picture frames set up in our main space that just constantly slideshows their work. You know, like clips and stills from their YouTube videos that they've edited, logos, banners, emotes, badges, things like that they've made for other content creators. And it'll just be on a constant loop, you know. So if you come in and you're just wanting to get started, something you'll want is a logo, you know, or like some type of banner to promote yourself. And we're going to outsource you to people that are local that can do those things for you. It's really about networking for me. You know, working with as many people as we can, because I want to try to grow this community as much as possible. And so that was a really big piece for me, is making sure that we could work with graphic designers and editors that are local, you know, to bring them some business, you know, and hopefully in return we can grow that community together.
Now you mentioned I didn't put this in the questions, but you mentioned stuff about fantasy sports and stuff. You guys could maybe host a fantasy draft and record that for someone. I feel like that could be something that would be dope. They could maybe go in there.
We could do their draft board.
Yeah, you could be the draft board with the TVs and stuff.
Oh, that's a cool idea, Brandon. Let's go.
Yeah,
I love that.
Yeah,
that's huge.
I was thinking about that when you were mentioning the stuff about the cards and the mics and stuff. What's funny, man, is like I have buddies that love playing fantasy football, but they hate doing live drafts because a lot of them are novice football fans, so they don't pay attention to the rankings. So like they don't have the magazines and stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm the type of guy that like I just want my friends to play with me. So like I will print off rankings from Yahoo. I will print off rankings for ESPN for every player. Here's your team to write. Here's a piece of paper to write your team on, so you know what you have to fill. Here's all the like. I'm literally doing everything to help you. And they're like, "Nah, man, I'd rather do it on the computer where it just shows me who to pick next." And it's frustrating.
Dude, that's such a good idea. And it's cool because like you wouldn't even have to technically make the board, because you could just run the draft on the two big TVs, and like that's all you have to do. You know, like
would be those if we had people like us that didn't care to talk in front of a camera, that you'd have someone that's like hosting.
Yeah.
And they could talk to them about their pick and why they picked that person. Like, I think that would be so dope. I would love to do something like that.
Dude, we should talk about that. I think it's an awesome idea. And if we can get some people on board, I think that we could probably find some people to be interested in doing that.
Absolutely. Even if I have to start another league just to do that, I will do that.
Okay.
Because I want to do that. Like now that I say that and I brought that up, I want to do that now.
So our league has talked about doing a destination draft for the past 2 years. Mm-hmm. And so this could be kind of like a fun way to kind of get our feet wet, for lack of a better term. I love this idea. I think this is a fantastic idea. So I'm into this.
Well, I'm giving it to you.
All right. Well, I appreciate it. I appreciate it.
I have... It is my idea, but that's why I said it on. I love it. So that you can have it. So.
This is recorded. This is what we call a verbal contract.
Absolutely.
For anyone that's watching this or listening to this.
My only thing is I want to be a part of it at least somehow.
Oh, 100%. No, if we can convince an 8-10 man league to let us comment on their picks, I'm in. I'm in.
Or even us be in it and have someone else host it and ask questions. I think that would be fun. I think that would be so much fun to be like, so what was your thoughts on there on picking Aaron Rodgers? He's not going to be, even though there's a good chance he won't play for Green Bay. And then just get someone like what they were thinking on why they made that pick.
I love that. This is such a cool idea. All right. That's our takeaway. It's our takeaway.
Yeah, for sure.
Right, before we go any further, I do want to just mention our other two owners because I don't want them to feel left out. So we have Xander Stewart. He is a business guru. He has kind of taken the lead on this whole thing. He is super business savvy. He ran against the grain for multiple years, and is working with Great Floyd. I don't know the
Great
name.
Flood Brewing.
Is that right? Yeah, he
Great
works with
Flood
them
Brewing.
now. I'm sorry. I know I butchered that, Xander.
No, it's the only reason I listen to 93.9 every day, so I know it's great. It's Great Flood.
Gotcha. Well, now he's working with them, but he's wonderful when it comes to like putting a business together. Just like there's so many things I don't even think about that he's just been right on top of, and we are blessed to have him with us. So love Xander. And then our final owner, his name is Brian Kelly. He's our tech guy. Literally, we would not be anywhere close to where we are now without Brian. So huge shout out to him. Dude, I'll be honest with you, my setup looks great here at home, but someone had to set this up for me. Like, I'm not going to sit here and lie to you. If we didn't have Brian, I don't know where we'd be. So, but yeah, so love my partners. We have a great team. So we'll see. We'll see. Hopefully this is not a money sink, right? Hopefully this takes off and people are into it.
So what's your long-term goal with it? I mean, you mentioned what you want it to be for other people, but for yourself, is this something that you could maybe look at some point leaving the job that you're currently at and moving to that full time, or is it going to be something that you're always going to want as like a side hustle type thing?
I could have the wrong read on this, but I don't think that it's ever going to pay me nearly as much as Humana, especially split 5 ways, when we're talking profits at least. But I mean, if we got to the point where like I was able to, pay all my bills and still have a little bit of money left over and do this every day, absolutely, without a question. I mean, I guess whenever you open any type of business, cause obviously it's a side hustle for now.
Yeah.
But I mean, the end goal should always be to do it full time.
Sure.
If you're passionate about it and you like it, you should want to do it full time. I love Humana. I love what I do with Humana. But at the end of the day, like, I'm a content creator, I'm a salesman. Like those are the things that I love to do. And this is kind of a way that I can do both and still give back. To do it full time, like 100 Thieves would have to call us tomorrow and say, love what you're doing. Can we buy your idea? Yes. 10 mil. Let's go. 100 mil, whatever it is. Like, let's go.
I mean, to be honest with you, I mean, you're going to know this way better, or you're going to know this a lot more than I would. You guys are the only one that I've ever heard of to do this. So you would strictly be the only one in the city. So I think that right there is going to help you.
There's a studio local that does recorded sound. But that's so they do podcasting, but they don't do it in person. Like it's one of those things where like you record it at home on your own equipment, and then you upload it to their server, and then they edit it and do all that stuff for you. We're completely different. We want you in person. Like we want you in the environment, like locked in, ready to rock. And we want to be able to work with you, and we want to be honest with you and tell you like, hey, like, I think you had a great take or whatever, but, think about this, and this, for your next one, or, however that looks. Like we want to do everything we can, to not only make good content ourselves, because we will be making content as a group. I didn't mention that earlier.
Mm-hmm.
We'll be doing group content together. But we also want to help you with your content. We want to make sure that you're putting out the best possible thing for yourself. So
nice. So I guess when do you guys hope to open? And you mentioned that you're hoping your all's goal is to have people there.
Yeah.
Have you guys had any pushback as far as like COVID and CDC guidelines go or anything like that? Has there been a lot of hoops that you've had to jump through?
Well, I mean, we've been lucky, because you don't have to wear a mask if you're vaccinated now. Like our plan, we have a pretty, I don't know the word I'm looking for, extensive sanitation regimen that we're going to put in place, once we start getting people in. We were a little bit worried about that at first, but, with the majority of people that will probably be coming through being vaccinated, it'll really just be like working with the ones that aren't. And I'll be honest with you, I don't know if it's going to be like a question, like if we ask if they're vaccinated or not. We haven't really gotten that far. I feel like if we ask, it's kind of like pressing a point. But thinking of maybe like a way to phrase like something so they volunteer that information. Maybe, I don't know. I haven't gotten that far.
I did read an article today that said that if you are in Kentucky, you are technically allowed to ask them that as a business owner.
Yeah, and I get that.
But I get where you're coming from though, because it's like that's, you don't want to be pushy, but at the same time, you got to protect your brand at the same time.
Sure, I get that. So I don't know exactly how we're going to approach that specific question, but as far as like mask and everything like that, if we do find out that they are fully vaccinated, obviously they won't need to wear a mask or anything in the studio. And then once they are recording it, they're going live. I use a pop filter. I don't know if you can see this here. My lighting is kind of weird. You may not be able to see that pop filter. So whatever. But we'll have pop filters on every mic, and that's something that we can pop off and clean. So
I can't see it now because you moved it, but just a minute ago when you were there it is.
Yeah. Sorry, my light's a little dark.
So when do you guys hope to open to the public?
So June 1st was the day. We were really, really looking forward to June 1st. But I mean, I've got equipment that's saying that it's not going to be until June 4th now. So, and if one of them wasn't an actual camcorder, it wouldn't be a big deal. But I mean, I can't live stream you if you don't have a camera. So I don't know. I mean, the only thing I can say is that now we're hoping for early June. But I just like, if it gets pushed back again, I don't know what that looks like. Do I have to cancel it and go just buy one from Best Buy just to not to be like to push it any longer? Like there are a few other things that we're waiting on to come in, but those are all cosmetics, like a coffee table, like another desk, like nothing like crazy. But like without that camcorder, like I said, like I can't live stream you if I don't got it, So hopefully it does come in, June 4th, and then we can shoot for that week or that following week.
So you're hoping for early June. Let everybody know where they're going to be able to find you guys. Where's the
714 Linden Lane, 714 Linden Lane. If you're familiar with Choi's Korean Grocery, we're right up the street from them. To Go Sushi's right there. So if you know Linden Lane, there's that railroad track that goes across it. If you go past the railroad track, you've gone too far. So 714. We're in suite number 10.
Oh, nice. So you guys are in like a strip mall then?
It's an office building.
Okay.
They put us around back though, and we're on the back basement because no attorney or counselor's office wants to be the basement of an office building. So, but we love it.
Gamers and streamers, man, they don't care about being in the basement.
No. We love it. It's quiet. It's secluded. We have our own entrance. Like we're very happy.
So being in that basement, is it hard to get internet connection down in there?
No, the Spectrum came out and drilled through the wall, so we're good. They drilled right in. Had no questions.
Before we get into the last part of the podcast, drop all of your social media stuff so people can keep up with you to see like when exactly you guys are opening up, and then I'll try to post it in the info as well.
So we're Kentucky Creative Studios on Facebook, Twitch, and Instagram. Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. We are going to be live under the name Collective Conscience. So Collective Conscience is going to be our hive mind, for lack of a better word.
Okay.
So it's going to be all of our any content creator that comes in and works with us. Their stuff's going to be uploaded to the Collective Conscience YouTube. And anyone that streams with us, or etc. We're going to host their channels through our Collective Conscience Twitch as well. So
the last part, man, you've listened to some episodes. I got to give a shout out to our boy Michael at Mike and Cheese. These are the Mike and Cheese rapid fire questions. I hope you're ready for these.
Oh God, Mike and Cheese rapid fire questions.
you can, but see, here's the thing though. You can back me up on this. Is it not the best mac and cheese in town?
It's pretty damn good. Excuse my French. I can't cuss. I apologize.
It's all good. We do free delivery to Louisville and Southern Indiana. It's a $15 minimum. The trays start at $10. You finally tried my pizza mac. You can also speak on that.
It's pretty good. It's pretty good. Look, guys, I was a little skeptical because Brandon likes to hype up stuff, but it was pretty good.
It was a spitfire idea.
I'm a Mama's Mac with bacon kind of guy. I like my
I,
Mama's Mac with my bacon.
Smoked Gouda or Mama's Mac with bacon,
Yep.
fire. I
Yep.
love the garlic crab with the smoked Gouda.
Every time I've gone to get mac and cheese from him, he has been out of the garlic crab. I've not tried it.
It's good.
I've heard nothing but great things, but I've not tried it. Mike, we got to work on this, you and me.
All right, you ready for the rapid fire questions?
No, but I guess we're getting into it.
I mean, you understand rapid fire questions. I ask you, you say the first thing that comes to your mind.
Let's go.
All right. Pizza or tacos?
It's definitely pizza.
All right, wings or burgers?
It's definitely wings.
All right, drums or flats when you go wings?
Drumsticks. So wait. I like boneless. Is that not?
I like
a flat
better, but let's say you go to Indies or you go to Chicken King. Which one are you eating? You've never eaten any of them?
They got the two bones. They got the two bone. What's that?
Flats. Those are flats.
Is that a flat? Okay.
That's a flat. Yeah. All right. This is the big one. This is the big one, Hugh. French fries or tater tots?
It's tater tots all day. If anyone says otherwise, they're insane. Are you shaking your head? Are you French fries or tater tots?
I'm 1,000% a French fry or tater tot.
What? I don't want to be on this podcast anymore. This is literally the worst podcast in the world.
Here's the thing. You give me a slightly undercooked tater tot, and it's terrible. You give me a slightly undercooked French fry, and it's fantastic.
Where are you getting undercooked tater tots from?
I'm talking about they have to be completely crunchy and crispy every time. If they're not, they're terrible.
You must be making bad tater tots at home.
No, I mean I ate school lunch.
Oh, school lunch. First off, if you're judging any food ever off your school lunch,
not true at all.
You're literally wrong.
Our school lunch was fantastic.
All right, first off, let me tell you a story. Those little rectangle pizzas were awful and amazing at the same time.
I agree.
School lunch is trash. You can't judge anything off school lunch.
See, we went to.
There's a reason why the school is serving it to you.
We had popcorn chicken. We had pizza sticks. I mean, we had a lot of great Frankenstein.
And your tater tots were bad at school?
Yeah, because they did.
Way. I don't believe it.
Because they didn't fry them.
You had one bad day. You had one bad experience. You hear what I said?
No, that's why. Because they baked them. They didn't fry them. That's why.
That's dumb.
See,
you probably haven't had a bad tater tot since high school. I don't want to hear it.
I mean, I'm not sitting over here saying that tater tots are bad, but they're definitely not on the level of French fries. And I don't know.
I mean, I can say the same thing about French fries. You get some soggy French fries, some cold French fries,
and they're great. I mean, they're still good.
I don't know about that.
You give me a soggy French fry, I'll eat a soggy French fry over a soggy tater.
All right, I need wherever you post this. Whoever's in the comments right now. I ask
this every episode, and you're one of maybe 2 or 3 people that have said tater tots, and I've asked this.
This is crazy.
And I've asked this question a lot.
All right, did Diddy Crumb like tater tots or French fries?
I didn't ask the rapid fire questions at that point, so I'll have to get that answer off. I have to get that off.
Diddy Crumb says French fries. I'm a Kentucky fan.
Oh my goodness, dude. Calipari loves tater tots, dude.
There you go. All right. Well, hey,
Calipari's a big tater tot guy.
Guess we're repping blue from now on, baby. Let's go.
All right, man. What's your favorite movie?
Favorite movie's Grind. I don't know if you remember that movie from the late 90s, early 2000s.
I don't think so. What's it about?
I mean, it's just a couple of guys that are graduating high school. There's this big skateboard competition going on. They all want to be pro skaters. And they follow this skater named Jimmy Wilson. They follow him all across the country, trying to get him to watch them skate. You know, they have demos, and they're trying to get Jimmy Wilson their demo tape, and they just never get him. They until the very, very, very end. They get this crazy once of a lifetime opportunity. They crush it. And then Jimmy Wilson pulls up at the end of the movie. He's like, "What's up, guys? You trying to go on tour?" And they're like, "Heck yeah!" And it's wonderful. Bam Margera's in it. I mean, it's just every skateboarder that was huge at the time is in that movie.
Sounds like Brink a little bit. Team Pup and such.
Yeah. I mean, I can see that. I can kind of see the comparison. It's a little more mature.
Yeah. All right. Who's your favorite musical artist all time, and who's your current one?
So I guess all time is Less Than Jake. They're definitely my favorite band. They're definitely my most listened to band. The artist I'm listening to a lot right now, there's this K-pop group called Everglow. They just put out a mini release, and I listened to their new single probably 11 12 times today, so it's wonderful. It's called First, and it's fire.
All right, favorite album all time and currently?
I don't have a favorite album, Brandon. I don't know. I don't know.
We'll name a couple. Then you said Less Than Jake is your favorite
Yeah,
artist. So,
absolutely.
then just give
Yeah.
me your favorite album of theirs.
Borders and Boundaries, baby. It's a fire
Okay.
album. I love Blink's Take Off Your Pants and Jacket. That's definitely a top 5 for me. But I don't know if I have a number one. There's no album that just like jumps to the front of my mind. That's like perfection.
Or maybe you just have too many of them that are perfection for you, so it's hard to just name one, I guess.
I don't know. Music's overrated.
I love music, man.
I'm just kidding, Brandon. I'm just giving you crap.
I was about to say that was that was surprising to hear from you, but
no, I love it. Eminem, what was it? The Eminem show, the Red album where he's standing on the stage, or the curtains behind him. Is it curtain? It's not curtain
call or something.
Is that curtain call? Might have been the follow up to it. I thought it was the Eminem show. Maybe it's not the Eminem show. Whatever. The album that had Without Me on it. That was like someone gave that to me in middle school in my choir class, and I'll never forget. I was listening to it on my PlayStation 1 with the volume at like 4 so that my mom wouldn't hear it. And
She's gonna know now.
Yeah, well, no, she came into the room while I was listening to it, and it was one of those ones where he was saying like "F my mom" or whatever, and she just like took my PlayStation and like just never let me have it back. So I didn't have a game system until the PS2 came out, and I never got that Eminem album back. So
here's a good one for you. What's your biggest fear?
I got so many fears. It's like, what am I not afraid of? I can get real deep and say being forgotten, but I hate heights. I hate spiders. Not a big reptile guy. Don't like snakes. None of that stuff. Let me think. Fears. Yeah, keep me away from tall things, and I'm good.
Favorite flavor of ice cream?
You're gonna be yeah, dude. I'm telling you, I don't actually eat ice cream. I like milkshakes. I love banana and like the Jamocha shakes from Arby's. But like soft serve ice cream, I don't eat it. I have really, really sensitive teeth, and it just hurts. It hurts my teeth too much when I eat like ice cream out of the box. I just don't do it. Every time I go to a birthday party, they're like, "You want some cake with your ice cream?" And I'm like, "Nope, I don't." And they look at me like I just told them that 7 + 7 is 15. Like,
what's your favorite restaurant in the city of Louisville?
Doc Crow's, man. I'm a big Doc Crow's fan. Rachel and I go to Doc Crow's for every anniversary, and a lot of our birthdays. I mean, shout out Doc Crow's. Like they're always on point. Never fail me. Love Doc Crow's.
Who's your favorite basketball and football players ever?
So I didn't follow basketball really at all until about like the past like 8 to 10 years. I really liked Russ Smith in 2013. I guess current like NBA would be Donovan Mitchell, just because he is who he is. He's from here. He's not afraid to like put Louisville, or he's not ashamed of where he comes from. He wears Louisville with pride, and I really like that about him. So I really like Donovan Mitchell. Football wise, I got a lot of favorites right now. Dude, like Rob Gronkowski is like the guy that I would just want to be friends with. Like, I feel like Rob Gronkowski and you would never have a bad time. You just like, you wake up, Rob, what are we doing today? Rob's like, I don't know.
Rob's like, cool. I'm still awake, bro. Yeah. I never went to sleep.
yeah. Dude, like, I love Rob. I love him a lot. I think he's just a fantastic person. He seems like a fantastic person.
Yeah, I mean, I got to see a lot of him when he was in New England. So I kind of, I'm not that a lot of people haven't seen, but I feel like a lot more people saw him in Tampa because a lot more people were open and receptive to him because he didn't play for New England.
Yeah, I get that. I mean, I liked Gronkowski when he was a Patriot. As much as I was yelling like F the Patriots, I loved Rob Gronkowski. I mean, that man parties with Shaq. Like,
I think my favorite thing that I've ever seen him do was when they were taking the Super Bowl trophy to the Red Sox game. Did you ever see that?
No, I didn't.
So he's like, "Hey, throw me a pitch. and he hits the baseball with the Super Bowl trophy and puts a dent in the football of the Super Bowl trophy. It's one of the funniest things I've ever seen. And everyone was just like, he's just dying laughing, dude. It's so funny.
So in New England, there's a trophy with a baseball-sized dent in it.
I'm sure they got it fixed or they got another one,
They should never have fixed it. They should never have fixed it. That's a story to tell.
I mean, I'm guessing they did, but I don't know for sure. If
I really hope they didn't. Like, I understand why you would, because it's on display forever.
Yeah.
But dude, come on, that's a story to tell. Like, in 100 years from now, when people are, touring, what's your stadium called?
Gillette Stadium.
Gillette. That's what I thought it was. Gillette Stadium. They're going to be like, Mr. and Mrs. Tour Guide, why is there a big old dent in that trophy?
Yeah.
And then she's just going to push a button, and it's going to bring up a clip of Gronk being like, hey, let me hit that ball, and just swing. That's a cool story. That's a really cool. I did not know that. I'm gonna try to find that clip.
I just sent you the clip actually to your phone.
I appreciate it. I'm gonna look at that.
So you would say Gronk is probably your favorite football player?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely have a few. I'm a Cowboys fan. I love Dak. A really big Dak fan. I love Juju Smith-Schuster.
He brings a lot of love to your community as far as the gaming streaming community.
I think there's just something about him. He's like, his perseverance, like, he works so hard when he's not training for like football, he's training to be a professional esports player. And like, that takes a lot of time. There's so much that you have to put into that, because it's not just like, it's easy just to say, just point and shoot, like, flick of the wrist, shot that dude in the head. Yeah. But if you're like, there's so much more to it than just like flicking your wrist and shooting someone in the head, and like, he literally puts himself in LA and like in a house with like other guys that do this for a living, and all he does is grind with those guys, and like, I love his work ethic. And he's personable. Like, you can, like, a lot of people, like, everybody from any background can relate to him. And I think that's what's so cool about Juju, is like, you can be a jock, a nerd, someone that didn't really fit in any social scene and still have something in common with Juju Smith-Schuster. And that's really important when you grow like your personal brand, as being like relatable. And like, I love what he's done for himself. I love how he's like grown his own image and his brand, and like, sky's the limit for that guy. Like, he's doing great things for the Steelers. And I think that once his football career is over, he's going to continue to just do great things. I mean, like, OBJ is now inserting himself into like the gaming and content creation community because of how successful Juju's been.
Yeah.
Like, I just, like, that's the next step for a lot of these guys, in some way, shape, or form, just being some type of personality in that world. And I think Juju was the first one to do it well. And I mean, there's so many other, I mean, Austin Eckler has a Twitch, he gets less than 100 viewers at a time. So he's almost like, I'm comparable to Austin Eckler when it comes to Twitch. Like, right?
Yeah.
He was literally on last night, had like 80 people watching him, which is, I mean, it's still much better than me, but it's not a lot for, like, it's not nearly what it should be for him. And I think it's because of how he's branded himself. You don't know that he streams. You don't know that. You don't know that he plays video games. Juju, I mean, it's literally all over his social media.
Yeah. So here's last two questions. Your favorite athlete ever?
Favorite athlete ever?
Just bar none. It could be one of those guys that you just said.
Oh, I don't even know, man. Favorite of all. Beats me. Wayne Gretzky. I don't even know the fuck that is.
I'm surprised.
Oh, I said a bad word. I'm sorry.
Well, I'm surprised I'm surprised you didn't mention was Lamar.
Yeah, but it's obvious. I love Lamar.
Like, yeah, but so is Donovan. Donovan's pretty obvious.
Yeah. So, but I don't watch the NBA nearly as much as I watch football.
Yeah.
So it's a lot easier for me to make those. I follow football so much more than I follow NBA.
Yeah.
Honestly, outside of playoffs, I watch maybe 5 games
a
year. So, but I mean, playoff basketball is a different sport, It's not anything comparable. Like NBA basket or NBA playoff basketball is its own breed. Like some of the best sports you'll ever watch.
Last question's a big one though, dude. Because I know you were really big in the music scene for a long time. As far as like going to a lot of shows, what is the best concert or show you've ever attended?
All right, how much time do I have? How much time do I have? All right, I'll just start talking. If you got to cut me off, cut me off. All right, so it's Fall Out Boy. Fall Out Boy is in my top 3 favorite bands. Okay. Fall Out Boy broke up. I don't know if you knew this, but they broke up, and they were on hiatus for about 2 years. And they got back together. I was sitting at Ivy Tech in English class when I got like my Twitter notifications came up as notifications, and I saw Fall Out Boy back together reunion show happening tonight. And I said, what? And they're from Chicago, and it was in Chicago. And I literally got up from my desk, literally seeing that message, seeing that they were playing a show in Chicago that night, and I just walked out of class. And my English professor was like, is everything okay? I said, Fall Out Boy's back together, I have to go.
You said this to your professor.
Yeah.
What did he say?
He's just like, Godspeed is what he said to me. But yeah, show sold out in 4 minutes. Not even 4 minutes, I think. 4 minutes was the number I heard. In the time that it took me to get to my car, I didn't have a chance to buy a ticket. So, by the way, I never went back to college. I literally dropped out of college. That's the
greatest thing ever. Yeah, that's how you dropped out of college. It's
literally not a joke. This is literally not a joke. I never went back. And that English teacher never reached out to me, surprisingly. So I just assumed that. I don't know what happened. That'd be a funny. I kind of need to follow up with that person. Anyway, doesn't matter. So anyway, show sold out in 4 minutes. So I'm in my car. I'm on Facebook. I say, hey, I'm driving to Chicago right now. Does anybody want to come with me? Nobody wanted to come with me. So I started driving to Chicago by myself, calling every radio station in Chicago, seeing if they were given tickets for the show or doing like a giveaway or something like that. And you're like, yeah, well, each one said yes, but you have to be listening for like that time. And I was like, well, I'm in fucking Kentucky. I can't get your radio station. I said effing. Yeah. I'm sorry.
It's all good.
I can't get your radio station on my phone or on my in my car. So what do you want me to do? Like, I'm sorry, but you're out of luck. So, I'm 2.5 hours outside of Chicago when I'm like, I might not be able to get in.
Where was it at?
Is it it's called the not the Mediterranean. The Subterranean. The Subterranean is what it's called. But yeah, so every radio station, no luck. I literally called every radio station in Chicago. This is not a joke. I had friends on Facebook asking their friends in Chicago if they knew anybody that had a friend that had bought a ticket and was willing to sell it to me. I had people on Twitter like hashtagging trying to help me find a ticket to get into the show. So 2.5 hours out, no luck. I finally get to Chicago. At this point, I'm panicked because I'm like,
what time of the day is this now that you've gotten to Chicago?
So it's probably so by the time I got there, it was like evening. The show was supposed to start at 8 or 9. It's probably 9 because it was dark. It was dark for over an hour. Yeah, and it was the winter time too. I was really cold. I didn't bring a blanket or a hoodie. Yeah, dude, this is like, it's all bad. Everything's bad. So I'm literally standing outside this venue, just asking if anyone has an extra ticket. And these other guys are trying to buy tickets. And I'm like, no, me, I need a ticket. I drove from Louisville by myself with no hoodie. It's like 30 degrees outside. I like walked into Walgreens, bought gloves and like a jacket. Luckily, these 4 very, very kind women gave me their blanket so that I could like wrap myself in their blanket. And it's crazy. So anyway, as I was pulling into Chicago, I'd posted something on Craigslist like, hey, someone sell me a ticket, please. I just drove from Kentucky, like blah, 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 blah. So it's like 35 minutes before doors open. I'm still outside, still trying to get a ticket. And someone calls me from Craigslist, and tickets were reselling at like $300-$400. I did not have that much money to spend. I was trying to get in for $100 if I could, because that's 5 times what they paid. So someone calls me and they go, "Hey, I can't go to the show tonight. I saw your Craigslist thing. Do you want my ticket?" And I said, "Absolutely. How much?" He said, $120. And I said, "Fuck it." I said the F word again. I'm so sorry. But anyway, so he comes up to me. Or sorry. See, so I'll meet you up there. So I walk into the Starbucks that's like right next to the Subterranean. I sit down, give the girls back their blanket, thank them, whatever. And I'm starting to get worried because it's like 10 minutes before doors open and the guy hasn't called me. The guy hasn't like updated me on anything. And I'm like, eventually, like, I was like, I'm just never going to get in. You know, if I do get in, like, it might be too late. I'll miss like maybe like some of the songs, whatever. And I was freaking out about it. So they were the only band playing. It was them. It was like their comeback.
Is this a GA show too?
Yeah.
So yeah. So you wanted to get in there early.
Yeah. Well, so there's only a limited number of tickets. I think it was like 200. It was only, I'm pretty sure it was only 150 or 200 tickets they sold. Like, wow. It was a very small, like intimate show. Mm-hmm. And so he calls me, not even 2 minutes before the doors are opening. He's like, "Hey, I'm here." I'm like, "Where are you at?" He's like, "I'm up front." So I like run out of Starbucks and like run up to the guy. And as I walk up to the guy, the doors open and they're like, "All right, everybody come in." And the security guards pushed me and him into the door because we were standing away from the line. And I was literally the third person to walk in the room.
So you didn't even pay for the ticket?
No, I did. I did pay for the ticket. I did pay for the ticket. But so we walked in together because it was under his name. But instead of having to go all the way to the back of the line of like over 100 people, I was literally the third person in. Like, it was literally these 2 girls and then me because the security moved us into like that spot.
That's awesome.
I could touch the stage. They had no barricade. Like, it was literally like one of the biggest bands that I in the world, Fall Out Boy. Yeah. Like, they played their reunion show with no stage to 150, 200 people. And I was literally right here. Like, I could touch Pete, Wentz, Patrick, like everybody. It's nuts.
That's such a good story. I've never heard that. That's such a good story.
They played all kinds of songs that they've never played. Like, they've rarely played live, like stuff off their like first 2 albums that like they don't even touch anymore, you know, because they're like 7 albums, 8 albums in. So it was such a cool experience. Like, I got to see them play songs that I've never seen them play. Have never seen them play again. Like, just like, it's the moment they walked on stage for the first time in over 2 years, and they all kind of like looked at each other, and there was like that moment. You could see that moment where like they all just like collectively acknowledged that they had missed it. It was insane. It was so cool to see that live. Like, I don't even know like how to express that moment. It's so cool. So cool. Yeah. And then I drove an hour south to meet up with a bunch of my friends from Illinois, and then we got drunk and I drove home the next day. So
that's awesome. Well, man, I appreciate you coming on, man. I'm glad we got to do this, and I can't wait to see what the future holds with everything opening up soon, and Thanks, you man. Guys getting it into production and everything. Sure. We'll definitely be back in contact. I mean, we talk pretty much every day anyway, but
you'll have to come out and see it.
For sure.
I'm doing a fantasy football show again this year. So hopefully I can get you out in person for an episode or 2. And you can see the studio for yourself, you know, and Lord knows that you're a successful podcaster. You can give me some pointers. So you can come in and give a seminar for some people that are interested. Yeah.
I mean, if people would pay to listen to me talk or would just want to hear me talk, then I would absolutely do it, man.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely. So, dude, again, I appreciate you doing it. And I love that story. I had never heard that story. That's such a good story.
It's crazy. It's the craziest thing that's happened in my life. So
and I think the best part is the fact that you were like, "Oh yeah," and I never went back to college after that.
I literally didn't.
That's so good.
I literally didn't. I couldn't. So I couldn't. It's just something about it, man. Something about that whole experience. It's like I pulled off something that was impossible to me. Like everyone in the world was like, "There's no way you're getting in that show," and I got in.
Yeah.
And I still even to myself sitting in that Starbucks, I was like, I'm stupid. Why did I drive this far? I just wasted a ton of money, a ton of time. I'm an idiot.
Yeah.
And then
So you got it for 120 and got to see the best show of your life. That's can't beat it, dude.
It's nuts. I stood in a blizzard with no gloves and a hoodie.
You didn't mention it was snowing.
Yo, dude, yeah. Oh no, it was literally like 30 something degrees. I may not have been snowing, but it was under 30 degrees. Yeah. Well, Chicago. Yeah, it was the fall because it was our fall semester of school.
Yeah.
So,
but yeah, I appreciate it, man. You gonna stream tonight?
No, I actually need to go to the studio and set up the one camera that we do have. So
nice. Well, guys, you can drop your stuff too. Let everybody know where they can watch you stream and everything.
Sure. Twitch.tv/Huberto. If you have
behind
YouTube,
him on there.
Yeah, absolutely. This is my name. Shout out Drew Littman. He got this for me for Christmas. It's a wonderful Christmas gift. But yeah, so twitch.tv/Huberto. My YouTube is Hugh's House. I don't upload a whole lot on there, but I want to. And actively doing are two different things. Again, like I said, if I put 100% effort into this, I'd maybe a lot further along than I am, but I'm not. So I need to be better. So, but no, it's not about me anymore. It's about what I can do for everybody else. So we'll see what we can do.
For sure, man. Well, again, anytime you want to hop back on, dude, and talk about it, give us an update on how everything's going, you just shoot me a text, let me know. We'll definitely get the word out there again. And man, I appreciate it. Maybe we'll come out there and do a live episode out there or something and show everybody how it's going.
Absolutely. I appreciate you having me on, man. My only request is that for the bad words I use, that you just bleep it and put like a Mike and Cheese logo over my mouth. It'd be wonderful. Heck yeah.
So you almost did it again. I better get off here before you just.
Yeah, dude. I've got that's my life. You should be glad you only got 5 to go back and edit out.
Yeah. I'm gonna let everybody know. By the time you're here, I'm not editing any of them out. I'm just gonna let everyone find them. The first one was like it just slipped through there, but I was kind of talking at the same time, so I don't really think anybody's gonna hear the first one. But the next 2, I wasn't talking at all. I was like, I just try to ignore them so that everybody else that's listening will ignore them as well. Because
it's not gonna happen. No. The more that you ignore it, the more it stands out, right? Like
probably.
All right. Well, go Jazz. They're gonna beat your Memphis Grizzlies. Yeah, thanks for having me on.
I appreciate it, brother. You have a good one, man. I'll talk to you soon.
Yeah, be safe, brother. Take care.